Hi, my name is Amy Wells, and I'm a teacher-researcher at the University of Caen, Normandy. This year, I had a really great opportunity to write my first monograph. It's called Liberté, Francophonie, Sexualité, and it's kind of a funny title. Many times people ask me, why did you choose that title? Well, it's important to know that even though I'm a university researcher, this project is actually destined to the general public. I wanted to share some of my favorite American writers with the French reading public. These are writers they probably don't know, even though some of them have been translated into French. And it's the Francophone club of my village that proposed this project. They said, we want to valorize this idea of American women writers who use French in their work. So we'd be very happy to pay for the publication of a book about that. So we had a really great collaboration with this club, and then also my university research team did participate. I wanted to talk about Natalie Barney, Gertrude Stein, Kay Boyle, Juna Barnes, and Willa Cather. Many of these women, with the exception of Willa Cather, we know that they're part of the left bank movement anyway. But what we didn't know is that most of them have all come to Normandy, sometimes for vacation, sometimes to have a sexual rendezvous with one of their lovers. Sometimes one type of circumstance or another brought them to the region. I am also a geocritician, so I work a lot on how space is represented in literature. And I wanted to look at what elements of the Normandy region had an impact on these writers and what would they choose to write about. Some of the passages are a bit humorous. Kay Boyle, for example, who lived in Le Havre and then in Harfleur, which is a suburb of Le Havre, she said that the weather was awful and that nobody would choose to spend their winter in Le Havre. But yet there she was. And so she found it to be a very beautiful and magnificent place. And the port of Le Havre is going to influence her for one of her major first poems, Harbor Song, which we've had the pleasure to translate for this book. I chose to organize the book chapter by chapter, one writer with pairing her with one of the cities in Normandy that she spoke about. And so if you're going to visit the Normandy region, you can read a chapter about Rouen and then see what the different writers say about Rouen. See what Willa Cather more precisely said about Rouen. The other idea that's really important for this book is how the women are speaking about and expressing their sexuality. In the 1980s, Adrienne Rich wrote that very important essay about the lesbian continuum. So here we're going to see some women that are openly lesbian, some women that are heterosexual, and some women that don't want to talk about their sexuality at all. They really want to keep that information for themselves. I had such a wonderful time working at the IMEC. The IMEC is the Institut de Mémoire d'Édition Contemporaine, which is located just here next to Caen. I was able to work in some really great archives that gave me the information I needed to complete this book. I want to wish you, especially if you speak French and can read French, a great reading of my text.